What is something that you have an unreasonable hatred for? Like you really don't know why you hate it, but you just do.
And there's no good reason for me to hate it?
There's no good reason.
Oh, I got one. It was inspired by a former congressperson. It's when people start, this is multifaceted. There are forms of communication that I consider to be low forms of communication.
Okay.
Open letters. I think open letters are the whiniest, most self-indulgent.
Is that like
drivel?
when you post like to someone, but it's like a...
people will write an open letter to the They're not going to read it, dumbass.
It's or like people, to a celebrity or like to a company.
I also hate when people start, this is primarily true on Twitter, when they start with dear so-and-so. You're not writing a frickin' letter. It's a tweet. The one that I saw yesterday was dear white people, and I basically just stop reading after someone starts a tweet with dear something.
You are a white person. Why didn't
I
you read
am,
it?
but it's not a letter to me.
It's right to you.
It's not a letter to me. I hate open letters, and I hate when people start tweets or Instagram posts or Facebook posts with dear da-da-da, because it's usually something stupid.
It makes you sound a little self-absorbed, I feel like.
Dear Chili's, we had a terrible time the other night. Shut up! Chili's corporate is not reading this. You just keep buying those stupid-ass appetizer platters. $14.99.
Hey, Chili's got some good apps.
But
I'm not saying Chili's doesn't have good stuff.
Let's talk about Chi-Chi's.
Oh, yeah. It's not like coming
like
back.
The McRib.
Yeah.
Chi-Chi's?
2024. McRib's coming back. Chi-Chi's is coming back.
McRib is back. McRib sucks.
Every middle-aged white man loves a McRib.
I unreasonably hate McRib. I hate it. It's not that
My
good.
My dad loves the McRib.
Of course your dad. How old is your dad?
56.
What race is he?
White.
He's a 56-year-old
white
white man. What's his name?
Brett.
Hell yeah, he loves the McRib. 56-year-old white guy named Brett.
My dad
loves McRib.
Yep. Anyways. What do you want to read?
Dear Jossie.
We weren't even allowed to use the word hate growing up because it's such a strong word.
It is a very strong word.
So there's very few things that
unreasonable. Yeah, I guess that's fair because I feel like people don't really.
Oh, but I hate what I do hate.
I bet Peter hates a lot of things. He seems
like
the type.
Here's what it is. A lot of things dull Peter's blades. He doesn't actually hate them, but he's not mindful enough to know that hate and dulling my blades are different.
No, I don't hate. I think hate is a fairly interchangeable term, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's synonymous with a lot of words that I do feel.
You guys ever
But I don't like but the word itself I'm not supposed to use.
You ever seen Mad Men?
Yes.
Okay, so the episode where Betty sees Dawn out in the city and then she gets hammered and kind of ruins dinner for she and Henry. And Henry's chastising her for getting drunk. She goes, I hate him, referring to Dawn. And Henry says, hate's a strong word, Betty. I have an ex-wife. She bothers me. I don't hate her. I hate Nazis.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I do hate some things. I do hate some things, including.
I hate Nazis.
Including.
Peeling the Scotch tape off a frozen Super Ink 7 entry door at the end of a 4-day hell tournament when all I want to do is go home. The championship game is almost over, and I've put up these posters, and then I have to take the pieces of tape off the door.
Your hair smells like raw red onion from the salad from Olive Garden.
That we've catered in
the
and
tournament
used for
room,
3 consecutive days.
The tournament room is covered
Look,
in
nobody
touched the
salad.
cheese.
There's still salad available on Sunday.
Does anyone want this salad?
It's like a fight over the dressing. Like, no, but I'll take that dressing home. And then Olive Garden, like, why?
Wait, you hate Olive Garden?
Why'd you send us 4 tubs of salad, enough for literally 160 kids?
Or a vegetarian army.
Literally. And then not a soul took a salad all the day. And then, like, the chicken you gave us enough for 2 ounces per person.
One of those things is expensive.
But we paid for it. We paid for at least 5 ounces per chicken.
So she hates Olive Garden's catering services.
Although I love their breadsticks.
And she hates peeling tape off of poster windows. I was going to say that my unreasonable hatred is chapstick. I don't use it. I hate it. It makes my lips feel wet, and then my hair gets stuck on my lips.
Well, would you ever get cracked lips?
Yes, but I don't use chapstick.
And what do you do? What do you do?
You just let them crack.
Yeah, what do you do?
Let's be clear. I have very, very oily skin. I don't really need, I don't use lotion ever.
What?
I hate lotion. I hate chapstick. I hate when my body feels
Does
wet.
this just make
Encumbered.
you so mad right now? Do you just hate this?
She can
It's
feel
like
it.
terror inside of me. I hate it. I don't use it. I only use it if my situation is dire.
I think there's additives in there that
Make your lips drier.
so that you have to keep buying it.
Yeah, look at that. Feed into the chapstick consumerism.
That's the thing. If you're a chapsticker, you always have 6 of them because
You
you're
are.
literally dehydrating your own lips with the product.
No, because this is non-medicated.
I'm glad that we all had 3 very different things that we hate and that we got out our
Things that
feelings
dull
on
our
them.
blades.
Things that dull our blade. We can
So-
just do that every pod.
There's no way around. I'm top of the mount. I'm queen of the mountain. My cup running over. I already told ya. I'm moving fast. You live in the past.
Welcome back, Peter and listeners.
In case anyone's listening, and they want to know why Peter is silent, it's because he's applying chapstick
Double
to
applying.
his lips with 2 tubes.
That
Just to
feels
prove a point.
so moist.
Peter is very childish. He likes to offend people with his
What?
chapstick.
What is this?
usage.
Is this offensive for
yeah.
you?
Yeah, it is.
Dear Kayla.
She just said she hates it.
I don't
He's like, let me
care.
get all of them from my bag. Tomorrow I'll bring the rest from my house.
Dear Jossie.
I'm going to open
Shut
my
up.
backpack and there'll just be like a handful of chapstick in it.
Well, I'm a chapstick guy. Laura's a Burt's Bees gal. And
That's
Yeah.
why you're married.
opposites attract, I guess. Now I don't want this on my lips.
Now he's over it. His hair is sticking to his lips.
Yeah, my mustache is stuck to my lips.
Now you put
Jossie, bring us in.
layers of. All right. Episode 8, the Women's Hockey Pod. Another exciting week of women's hockey across the country. Obviously, we only watch and care about Minnesota players. So we're going to bring you all sorts of coverage.
We don't only care about Minnesota players, but it is our area of expertise.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me a second there to wipe off the chapstick.
This is unbelievable. This is what
Unbelievable.
this has turned into.
I'm proud of you for saying country and not the state.
Thank you.
Nice job. You said you wanted to work on that before we started, and here you are.
Yeah.
Oh, great job, Joss.
Okay, thanks. So currently, our Team USA is playing in Tampere, Finland.
Let's go.
The reason for PW break coming up and Division 1 break coming up. Although I did see that there's like maybe 2 or 3 college D1 games kind of trickled in, but there are over 40 WCHA players playing in Finland right now. And then
for the
I
Six
don't-
Nations tournament.
the Six Nations tournament that we talked about. USA played Finland today. They won 4-0. Abby Murphy had 2 goals, and McNaughton had a shutout for the United States.
Let's go.
Play again tomorrow. Wrap up over the weekend. But anyway, like I said, that makes reporting on next week's PW and D1 pretty easy. They're in Finland, and you can't watch it.
What? What do you mean you can't watch it?
It's just women's hockey. There's nowhere you can't.
No, but I
figure out
can.
a way to
But
watch
I
it.
can look at this sick game photos album from USA Hockey.
Yeah, so you can find information about it at usahockey.com. And then I can't really not talk about the mascot. Come back around.
Oh boy.
There's been major drama this week over the mascot that we talked about last week. And like, this mascot's important to me, as you guys know.
It's important to you.
The
But just
mascot is important
The
to you?
naming of it or the
All of the
Okay,
above.
hold on,
Okay.
let me get one more.
This is the mascot
Okay.
that's now causing an uproar among PWHL fans.
Are they still trying to decide between those 3 names?
Well, they're deciding if they're going to keep the mascot because Unfortunately.
She's got thigh-high skates.
Unfortunately,
Those aren't thigh high.
too many
Or what do you call
PWHL
them? Knee-high.
fans.
Sorry,
Knee-high.
knee-high.
Too many
Knee-high.
PWHL fans think that the mascot is an over sexualization of women.
I think that's probably fair.
But
What?
according to
She's not even wearing breezers. She's wearing like leggings.
But is she wearing Bravada designs?
Have you ever,
she does look like she's wearing like a
Have
roller
you-
derby outfit.
have you ever seen skates that are knee high? Because I haven't.
Actually, yeah.
Here's my problem with the bitching though. They're saying the sexualization of women in sport has occurred for more than a century, with men seeking to control and keep women from sport.
Never mind. Shouldn't have looked that up.
I just feel like that's like so aggressive over.
Yeah,
Like-
it is a bit aggressive.
Okay.
I feel like they could have just made it an animal or something instead of like a
Okay.
lady with like.
So the
features.
drama here though is that like these people are saying, oh, nobody looks like that. None of these players, that's not representative of the players. But like, I don't know if you've seen some of these players, and that's more representative of a lot of these players than Gritty.
Well, hockey players have to be muscly on some level, right?
I
They're
also
playing a
think-
contact
Hey,
sport.
I don't think it's humanly possible to have that small of a waist and that big of thighs. That is like a ridiculous body standard, in my opinion. Also, I don't
Okay.
think Gritty's meant to be a man.
Is Gritty not an aspirational body type?
I don't think he's a man.
Are we not all trying to look
Gritty-
like Gritty?
I guess the drama is like, to me, the most exciting part.
I just feel as if it was putting. I mean, it's like a weird thing to sexualize, in my opinion. It's supposed to be like a mascot.
I feel like if she were being sexualized, she'd be missing the midsection of her outfit. But like in this case, they've just put on something
You
that
can
shows
just-
her body, and the universe is like,
Well, yeah, but like the leggings, that's like showing her body.
here's the thing: have you we call all these like high school girls to come like
Yeah.
guest coach or like assess during tryouts and stuff. These girls, you know what they wear when they come skating? They wear Lulu leggings. Like that's what the girls are wearing when
Do
they're
they
not
wear
wearing.
superhero capes?
She does have a cape on.
She's a superhero.
She also has a Zorro mascot.
So so that's why I'm like, this is like their version of Marvel superhero.
Yeah, I guess I just think maybe we should not go towards a sexualized woman as a mascot and just instead make it either a hockey player normal outfit or an animal
Or a bunny.
or a bunny.
Or a bunny. So,
I also think animals are more fun as mascots because
Well,
they
it
don't have
does
to have
make
names
sense.
like Tori or Ava.
Or Alex. Okay, so again, heavy women's world's mascot naming content week again for the pod.
I just don't understand why they couldn't take a silhouette like the NBA with Jerry West and make that the logo of a player from the last time the tournament was held. Of
It's
like
not
a
as-
player raising a trophy. Why does it have to be a comic book character? No offense.
Well,
but,
because then they
like,
can
why
put-
does it have to be
You've
a
met
Marvel
Tony
character?
Scott, right?
No.
Because like you know how he likes to put on costumes and get attention. So now this person will get to do that in
You-
Czechia.
If Tony Scott put on that costume,
I don't think Tony would put this one on, but
no, probably
somebody
not.
will. Somebody will be walking around Czechia signing autographs
that's-
for girls like this.
That's my other question is how do you make this in my mind, how do you make this a traditional mascot like Youppi or the Philly Fanatic that interacts with fans of the game? So is it going to be a woman wearing a skin-tight bodysuit with a cape and a mask and a stick?
Why not? Power Rangers do
A
it.
skin
I
tight
guess.
bodysuit though.
That's what I would want to wear.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, to each their own. I just feel like they should have gone a different route, but
I just don't know how
Something
they...
more pear-shaped, less boobs.
less chesty. The chest is a little much.
Something that looks more like the
Maybe-
fans and not the players.
It's
How about
just
that?
Maybe it's just an unreachable body type for me.
So that leads us straight into PWHL news. Last week, our Frost won both of their games. They are now undefeated at 2-0-1.
2-0-0-1.
Is that right? They've won overtime loss. But they're leading the league with 7 points after 3 games. Every team's played 3 games, and
Hell
the
yeah,
Frost are at the
dude.
top. Bring it.
2-0-1.
2-0-1.
2-0-1-0, according to the PWHL
2-0-1-0.
standings. Yep, 2-0-1-0.
Okay. So a good week for the Frost. They've got a lot of games left though, so it's pretty early to be talking about standings for the PW. A bunch of players I feel like found like some security last week. I think there were a few one-year contracts signed. With some injuries, I saw some players get pulled onto reserve lists for reserve spots onto some of these teams. So at least some players got to have a little bit of sort of security last week. But the big league news, is the official league partnership with Bravado Designs.
It is on the front page of the website.
Bravado Designs is an intimate apparel company celebrating women's empowerment and excellence. So I guess I'm a little bit like surprised, like that's exciting. So again, we're not trying to sexualize everybody, but our first official partners, literally bras.
Bras aren't inherently sexual.
They are
That
inherently
is a
supportive.
clothing
They are quite
option.
supportive.
Supportive to women's hockey.
And that's part of the ad campaign, right, though, that we were
So
discussing earlier.
I saw
that part
Kelly
of the ad
Coyne
campaign.
Schofield on Jackson Jills. So Jackson Jills is the pod for the PW, and then they are rolling out the excitement of the new partnership today. And
Right.
and the question they've asked and clipped of Kendall Coyne is, who were your biggest supporters in your hockey career? Of course, she mentions her parents, not her bras, but I think they're looking for some correlation there. Brilliant. Brilliant, bravado.
I can appreciate that one of their official partners is a woman-run company. I mean, the president of Bravado Designs is Nicole McCasey, who's been around for a while. So it's a women-founded company.
You can tell that the values are aligning with the demographic that they're trying to. I guess I'm making a teasy joke because I'm sure the same fans that commented on the article about the woman in her skin tight outfit are like pumped that the ads for the bras will be all over the XL Energy Center in 3 weeks.
I am a little curious to see how they
There's
do
gonna be way
that.
more skin showing on the bra ad than on Ava Tori.
But as long as it's brought to you by Bravado Designs, it's all good. I am curious to see how that works out because it says the Bravado Designs will have prominent branding across all PWHL arenas. I'm assuming it just means like the company logo will be around the rings.
Probably not ads of bras.
You know, there might be some conversations during Wild games.
Hey, actually, I'm pumped that the league's finding partnerships. The league's doing the right things, like less question, like, is this still going to be sustainable? I think they just want to keep hammering away at the things they need to do to stay in business. So congratulations on your new partnership at Bravado Designs.
I still think one of the best things the league has going is that it's so easy to find the game. You go onto YouTube, you hit PWHL Minnesota, and there's
you
the
would
game.
say that the week that YouTube canceled their streaming service with the PW.
Wait, what?
You couldn't watch the PW games this weekend.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How did we not lead with this?
Well, because we don't want our fans to know how hard we can't watch any hockey. This is not new. This is the same as every other hockey.
YouTube PWHL.
So, like, if you wanted to watch games this weekend, you had to, like, live in Canada, or now it's going to be, like, on Twitch.
Twitch?
Yeah.
The video game streaming thingy?
Like Discord, yeah.
Oh, boy.
So that's a big bummer, actually, because they were quite easy to watch, and that was one thing the league had going for it.
This is a huge bummer. Wait, you can watch the game on the PWHL.com.
Okay. You couldn't this weekend. I think they may have, like, I think they might have, like, gotten some things taken care of, like, since their last game, because you couldn't. There were like 4 games that you couldn't watch if you were American this weekend.
Okay, well that does bum me out though, because in an age where I can't watch the Wild, I can watch the Maple Leafs, but I can't watch the friggin' Wild. It was really easy to just pull up YouTube on my Roku and punch in PWHL Minnesota and watch the full game. That was really nice. I hope that it remains easy to find the games, but from what you're telling me, it's not going to be.
No, so far it's not. But like I said, I mean, personally, I'm not ever trying to, like, differentiate this league from other gendered leagues. I just want to fit in, right? So it feels like we're fitting in.
Okay. All right. I want it to be different. I want it to be easily accessible for people.
Oh, same with men's hockey. I agree. Hockey should be you should be able to watch hockey. It's like you can't even watch like youth streamed hockey. They're like gatekeeping certain rinks, certain teams.
No.
Somebody will go black out the frickin' live barn.
Sounds personal.
No, it's
Is
like
somebody blacking out your team's games? You're telling me I can't watch
15 UB white.
15B
we don't
Dino
want
White?
we don't want our enemies like scouting us before big games.
What's next?
All right, let's do some D1 and D3 results from last week. We'll tie in just like the polls and the Summit scores kind of through.
All right, I've got the WCHA results pulled up if
Bring
you want me
it.
to run through those. Friday, December 6th, Wisconsin defeats Minnesota State 2-1. UMD and St. Cloud State tied 1-1. Duluth won in the shootout. I'm still not a huge fan of the shootout rule in college hockey. I hate that it officially goes down as a tie, but some team gets an extra point for the shootout. I don't like that. Minnesota 5-0 over St. Thomas. On Saturday, Wisconsin spanked Minnesota State 5-0. UMD beat St. Cloud State 3-1, and Minnesota beat St. Thomas 6-2. So the Golden Gophers handling business against the Tommies. Wisconsin in a nail-biter with Minnesota State, and then the Badgers come back and hang 5 on the board on Saturday, and Minnesota Duluth wins 2 close ones with St. Cloud State.
Okay, yeah, so I thought that Friday's game would be a bigger rowdy between Wisco and MSU, but MSU, like, kept it tight. I mean, shots were close. It was exciting to see Minnesota State getting some offense, keeping shots close. That was actually a fun game to see. And then, as you said, they kind of took care of business. Madison Meshuga scoring the sole goal for MSU this weekend, but that's super exciting. She's a Minnesotan, and being the only scorer in a game, even when it's a routing, but against the best team in the country, is not easy to do.
Assisted by 2 Minnesotans as well, Janessa Gazdick and Sydney Langseth.
Right, but we don't do summit assists.
Well, why not? If you're in charge of that, I want to make a formal complaint that we don't do summit assists.
There's a box near the door.
We should do summit penalties too.
Okay, well, elsewhere in the WCHA scoring on Friday, let's see. I don't have anybody else in the Madison Meshuga is my only WCHA score. So my other scores are coming from ECAC, Hockey East, and Atlantic. I've got Maddie Christian, 2 goals. Haley Eikos.
Olivia Mobley scored for UMD against St. Cloud State.
I actually do have that right here. Olivia Mobley scores in the OT win for UMD. All right. But Haley Eikos at Vermont, Jada Habish at UConn, Meredith Jensen at Clarkson, Lauren Larson with a shutout at Sacred Heart, Lauren Maras with 2 goals at Franklin Pierce, and Mackenzie Rich at Franklin Pierce, and then Madison Meshuga and Olivia Mobley. Those are your Friday night summit scores. And I went to the UST, U of Minnesota game on Friday. I actually thought St. Thomas was on the trajectory to play a little tighter. But a couple things I was noticing while I was there were face-offs. There's a huge discrepancy in St. Thomas not being in the face-off wins. So St. Thomas is having a harder time controlling the puck off face-offs and making some opportunities and getting just setting up some plays. So I did see some really good individual efforts, but it was hard. It was just hard looking at St. Thomas. It looked like they were having a hard time pulling it together. And then, of course, like Abby Murphy kind of had a breakout game that night with 5 points. She's had a few good games with good points or game-winning goals, but in this case, she factored in every one of the U's goals that night.
Yeah, St. Thomas goes 0 for 5 on the power play across the 2 games, 0 for 4 in game number 2.
Yeah, it was like they could not gain control. So what, if a player is winning the battle, she's having a decent rush, she's getting a shot off. So I saw a lot of good opportunities for St. Thomas, but they weren't pulling it together kind of as a unit, and then just settling down enough to really set it up. So in spite of several weeks in a row of really good looking box scores and stat sheets, Minnesota just looked like a way better team.
Yeah, St. Thomas they're still a year or 2 away.
And yeah, that's something I talked with some of the St. Thomas parents about. Just the girls are young. A lot of these girls are sophomores. or freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've done an incredible job recruiting. So there's a whole slew of girls coming. Watch out. UST is going to be probably very competitive in the next year or two. And then
Nice save on not mentioning any specific parents there.
I wanted to,
That
but
was nice.
and then also off the record, but rumored as far as the UST or St. Thomas coach is that there should be some sort of an announcement before the return to play after break about whether or not they're going to just be promoting Bethany or be hiring, like put full hiring process. But they're saying, actually, I think I have like, okay, you won't believe who's reached out regarding the opening at University of St. Thomas. And there are some
You won't believe.
big names.
Like who?
I don't know.
You don't know the names?
This is innuendo and rumor so far.
Innuendo and rumor. Okay.
But
well, it's a. How could you not want this job? You look at the talent that's already on the
juiciest
roster.
Division I college hockey job in the country right
You're
now.
getting a new
no
rink.
question.
You're in
Yeah.
a premium
You have money
spot
galore.
here.
All your alumni are like CEOs at one of the 500 Fortune 500s in the city.
What does your gut tell you? Do you think they'll stick with
I
Bethany
think
Bronson, or do
they
you think they'll
don't.
bring in an outside hire?
I think they bring in an outside hire.
Why?
I think there's probably a name or two on the list. I just think back to when Wisconsin's coach resigned midseason and they had an interim and then they brought in a big name and that changed women's college hockey when they did that. So they could have just promoted Tracy Cornell from assistant to interim to head. I don't know what that would have done for the game, but I can tell you that they didn't do that. They did the alternative, and Mark Johnson's had such a huge impact on the women's hockey game that it'd be unfathomable to think that they would have done it any other way. So I'm hoping for the sake of the game, and I think Bethany's fantastic and her resume is incredible. But she's close to the players, she's connected to the players, she's recruiting the players, she's in day-to-day operations, she's the glue that's keeping them together, and sometimes that's just like kind of stay in your role, stay there. If that's working really well, stay there. Let's see how her interim, and then of course St. Thomas is going to take a few weeks off with the rest of the D1 break, but see how she does. Obviously, St. Thomas is losing a lot of their games, but they're in the WCHA, so expectations aren't super high. You got teams like most of the WCHA teams right now, and if you're not familiar with like the fifth year and the COVID rules, a lot of these kids are like in their 30s now still playing college hockey because they were given extra years. And then you still have players that took an Olympic year or redshirted. So some of these teams like Duluth, I think they've like, how many seniors? Like 13 seniors.
On the St. Thomas roster?
No, Duluth.
Oh, okay. I was just saying St.
St.
Thomas
Thomas,
does not
on the
have
other
13
hand,
seniors.
are very young. There are a lot of really young girls. So like there's a lot of room for them to become, a Duluth or one of these teams with these older players that have some years under their belt and experience. So it seems like Bethany obviously has a place on that staff, regardless of whether it's a head coach or not.
That would be so hard though. Bethany has to be on the short list. She has to be interviewed.
I would assume so.
Completely as a.
If she wants it.
She cannot just be interviewed as, well, you're the interim. This is a half step to the left, and now you're the head coach. She has to be interviewed as a serious, viable candidate. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that she wants this job. I think it would be really, really hard to go through this whole process and to have somebody come in hired above you, and you're just expected to go back to being an assistant coach and the recruiting coordinator.
Well, keep in mind, she was named the interim within 24 hours. It's not like she had to go put in a resume and beg for a spot as an interim. She was named the interim.
No,
right?
I'm aware of that, but she
like,
has to go through the process to be officially hired as the.
Yeah, I would assume she'd be
to
given
remove the interim
opportunity.
tag.
Yeah, I'm assuming she would be given an opportunity to go through the same process as anybody else. Like they'd have to post the job probably, right? Like you can't just. Maybe they can.
I think they officially have to post the job somewhere, like on a job market board. NCAA has. I've looked at jobs on that market board before, and they post literally everything, from associate athletic trainer to coach postings. How outside do you think they might go?
way outside. That's what I'm saying. I
think they
the
might
job's
pull
so
somebody from the
juicy.
high school level?
No, I think that like they
Okay.
could literally pull somebody from like men's D1 or NHL. Like, I mean,
You
I
think they might pull a men's D1?
that's what I think the game needs. I think the women's game needs like a big name.
Greg May.
No,
Greg May.
No, Greg May loves where he's at, right?
Greg May.
I mean,
Calling all cars.
I mean, we would love to see Boom at UST, but I really feel like I said, something along the lines of a 2002 hiring of Mark Johnson.
Yeah.
For Wisconsin. That's the opportunity UST has right now.
They got to get it right, though.
Yeah,
because this could blow up in St. Thomas's collective face if this goes wrong.
I just think there's going to be enough good candidates that it's going to be a huge opportunity for St. Thomas. So,
sorry, I'm texting with a source right now.
Yeah, get the deeds.
Get the deeds, dude.
Get the deeds. Okay, so so those are my notes from watching the St. Thomas Minnesota game. I would have liked to have seen it go into a tighter game or see St. Thomas score, but not today.
Not today. Not today.
Not today. Okay. Over 40 WCHA players in Finland right now for the Six Nations tournament, but this weekend Bemidji and Mankato State will play. They're the only WCHA teams that will play, so that they have a series this weekend. And then coming up on the first of the year, the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Women's Face-Off will take place in Lakeville. And that will be the Gophers versus Bemidji.
In Lakeville?
In Lakeville.
Oh. Kayla, what do you know about this?
What are you talking about? I'm working.
The U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Women's Face-Off. It must be like an outdoor game or something on the first of the year.
It's going to be in Lakeville? No
Yeah.
idea.
Dang it.
Which rink is it on?
Haas?
Oh, Hossey.
Hossey?
It's on the outdoor rink at Hossey?
Yeah, so it must be like an outdoor
It's
game.
it's a new rink.
Okay.
So they have a new outdoor rink.
And
at
so then
Hossey.
the winner of that game is going to be presented their award by Buzz Schneider of the Miracle on Ice team, since we're just talking about some of the players on that team anyway.
Cool.
Anyway, so that's super exciting. But speaking of that, my friend Brianna was just inducted into the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame this week. That was exciting too. And now she's in Finland with.
She's coming on the pod too, isn't she?
Yeah, well, yeah, we had to reschedule her the one day. Now she's all over with all these teams. She just goes around.
She could just fly back real quick.
I asked her if she'd come play on my team in Tampa.
What'd she
in
say to
March.
that?
She's coaching.
Oh, no. I'm sure she'd be there if she could.
There's other U.S. Olympians on my roster. Former U.S.
Of
Olympians.
course there are.
Former.
Sounds like a good lineup of interviews.
Oh, I'll get them.
We're
Okay,
moving
then-
on, D3.
Well, last D1 coming up, and it's not coming up because there's so
Yep.
few games to talk about. First of the year, second of the year, Ohio, Wisconsin are going to rematch for a showcase game. It doesn't look like it's a series, just like a showcase game.
Oh, that's a bummer that it's not a series. I want to see them play a legitimate
They'll play
two-game
again
series. They're going to
later.
play again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so yeah, that's D1 results. D3 results. We talked about the big 5 versus 6 matchup, Gustavus versus Augsburg.
Okay.
And they split the series. So that actually propelled Augsburg up a spot or two in the rankings. Like, they can't stop. They just, no matter what happens, Augsburg moves up a ranking spot or two. And then it drops Gustavus. So D3 rankings actually see like a big shakeup this week because Augsburg and Gustavus split.
Okay.
And then Gustavus the next day goes and beats River Falls 7-2. River Falls is ranked number 1 in this
River
in the nation.
Falls.
So Gustavus says like, oh shoot, we lose. So they win on Friday against Augsburg. Oh, and I said that series was at Augsburg. It ended up being down at Gustavus. I think that was a last minute change because Augsburg shut down. Augsburg's
Well, fill us in
Cooler
on
went
the
out?
the cooler went out?
yeah, like I had not only did I had hockey. I had 3 different hockeys scheduled at Augsburg, and I got cancellation emails from all of them at once. So their motor blew in on their cooling system,
Yikes.
and they had to shut the rink down for days and days. So I think they did play those games down in Gustavus or maybe at some neutral site rink because Augie Tech was not in good shape. But Augsburg loses Friday night. and then comes out and beats Gustavus. So Gustavus has been ranked number 2 all season long. God, I couldn't even tell you. I'd probably look it up, but the last time Augsburg beat Gustavus, probably not once since I played for Augsburg. Anyway, they beat them on Saturday, and then Gustavus comes back last night and rematches number 1 River Falls, who they played early in the season, and win 7-2. So that's a nice way to recover, although it doesn't help them that much. They're at 5th now. They're down at 5th, 1 spot above Augsburg, and Middlebury moves into 1st place, taking over River Falls because of their loss.
I still think we got to get out to a River Falls game.
Yesterday's game was the one we were supposed to go to. We literally said
It was at
we
River
won't miss
Falls,
that
though.
one.
It was at River Falls.
But we
though,
said
right?
that was in the budget.
I don't remember that at all.
Okay,
I don't remember agreeing to go to River Falls.
go listen to episode 3.
I got to listen to the whole thing.
Just the part about going to River Falls. And I will mention over the weekend, Kayla Simonson was named MIAC Goaltender of the Week.
Yeah,
So
she
her
was.
performance against Gustavus earned her MIAC. What is it? MIAC Goaltender of the Week?
Goalie of the week. She's a
Athlete of the Week. Sorry, I
Oh,
want to be
Athlete of the
specific
Week.
because these things are like, they have like tiers. It'll be like Athlete of the Week, and then it'll be like Forward of the Week, Goalie of the Week,
It's a
Defense
lot
of
of
the Week.
of
and then
the
there's
week
and then there's
awards.
honor rolls below each of these. So there's hierarchies of what matters. And Kayla Simonson was the MIAC Athlete of the Week. So like the full-fledged big deal.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Not to minimize anybody who got Offensive Player of the Week or simply Goaltender of the Week, like some of our players out east.
Well, you can't deny Kayla Simonson's having a great year. She's 4-1 right now. Her
She
goals against is
rocks.
0.6.
I know.
She's got 3 shutouts and a 976 save percentage. I mean, come on.
It's so fun. I've seen her each week at the top of the list, shutouts, blah blah blah. So
The
she must
pride
have
of
only had like her
Delano.
fourth start this weekend or something, because I think we talked about her last week. But okay, so D1. Let's see. In the Atlantic Conference, Maddie Christian, who I talked about in Summit Scorers at Penn State, she is second right now, currently ranked second in the league in points with 13 points. So she has 8 goals and 5 assists. Hockey East, Jada Habish, she's in the top 15 of scoring for her conference, Hockey East over there.
Nice.
In the New-Ha, Michaela Kelly is second in the conference with 14 points. So she's got 8 goals and 6 assists. We talk about her every week pretty much. And then Player of the Week honor roll over in New-Ha, Audrey Jackson at St. Anselm, Grayson Limke at Sacred Heart, and Lauren Morass at Franklin Pierce. And then the Defensive Player of the Week for New-Ha is Julia Stevens. So she's a Franklin Pierce senior from Minneapolis. She had a goal and an assist this weekend, one of them being the game winner. And then the honor roll for Defensive Player of the Week, Olivia LaRoche at Sacred Heart. And I threw
Nice.
this one on here for you, Alexi Kirkby. She's an Assumption goalie, but she's from Jamestown.
Yes, she is. She's the daughter of my former psychology professor.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to add her, because she's not from Minnesota, so she shouldn't even be anywhere near my notes.
She played for Warroad, though.
Okay, cool.
She did a year with Warroad, and they won state. So.
All right. Well, she's made the honor roll for Defensive Player of the Week. Not full-fledged Defensive Player of the Week, who is Julia Stevens, but honor roll. And then Goaltender of the Week honor roll. And, like, Minnesota is pumping out goaltenders. So, like, I can hardly find Minnesotans on the stat sheets in some of these conferences. And, like, the goalies are just rolling off the list. So, Lauren Larson at Sacred Heart, Abby Thompson at LIU, and Jaden Weisner at Assumption. All honor roll goaltender of the week for the New-Ha conference.
Honor roll goaltender of the week. Wow, there are just so many awards, man. I don't remember any of this stuff.
It's because you didn't get any.
Well, I didn't play college hockey. I just didn't realize there were so many weekly awards.
You know, New-Ha does a really nice job. A couple of the conferences don't do as much, but to be honest, I'd talk more about some of these other conferences, but our Minnesotans, like, just aren't, they're not on the list in some of these conferences. There's probably fewer Minnesotans on some of those teams, but I'd love to know, like, chicken and the egg type of thing, like what's going on We can look into that later. But I still have to give you more honor roll.
There are more?
Rookie of the week.
Oh my God.
Rookie of the week honor roll. I mentioned her twice last week, Ella Holm. So she is doing some good stuff as
Moorhead.
a freshman from Moorhead at Sacred Heart. And then, again, like I mentioned, I'm looking through stats for WCHA or stats for D1. Mm-hmm. It's fun going through the D3 or the NUHA and ECAC because some of the Minnesotans are like crushing over there. Like I mentioned, they're second in their conference in scoring. But WCHA is like the same names at the top. 6 of them are Wisconsin, 2 are Gophers, and 2 are Ohio, and none of them are Minnesotans. Okay. So it's like, okay, well, I will say Vivian Jungles, an Edina native playing for Wisconsin, has the best plus minus in the league. Some people don't give a shit about plus minus, but it is indicative of some things. Vivian Jungles is plus 39 in 20 games.
Plus 39?
Vivian Jungles is leading the entire WCHA in plus minus, plus 39 in 20 games.
Man, that's Nick Lidstrom
type
numbers.
So I don't care what you think about the stat itself, but Vivian Jungles is fucking dominating. Like, good for her. She's like
Vivian.
Yeah, she's like young. She's getting a bunch of playing time for the Gophers. For Wisconsin.
Oh.
She's playing at D. But I do think that plus minus can be indicative of some things. So I'm pumped to see that for her.
I think plus minus is more indicative than nothing.
Well, yeah. Yeah, like if you're like minus 20 and you're your team's leading goal scorer, like you might as well just be the statistician.
I also think that plus minus carries more weight the older you get. Tracking plus minus for like peewees is
when there's 14 to nothing is the game, or like 11 to, no, I definitely think when you're playing for Wisconsin too, Wisconsin has like 176 goals already this season.
What's the most they've scored in a game? 7 or 8?
Not 16 or 18 like I saw some high school teams doing this week, but I think they did win a 16-2 against Franklin Pierce early in the season.
I'll find that number. I got you.
So Vivian Jungles, nice. Emma Peschel is the top Minnesotan that I could find in WCHA for points. So she's like hovering in the 14th space where there's some people tied or something.
Gotcha.
19 points in 19 games. So nice job, Emma Peschel, because competing against some of those names at the top of the WCHA doesn't look easy.
No. The most goals that Wisconsin has scored in a game this season is 12.
Okay.
And the second most is 9 against your Maine Black Bears.
I know. They just
call Molly.
dumped
What's
all
going
over
on?
'em. I know. I felt so sad for them. Okay. Sadie Lindsay. I'm sure you're watching this. You're 4th in the WCHA in shot percentage.
Yeah, you are.
You have 3 goals with 13 shots on net. So it's a .23 shot percentage, which is 4th in the WCHA. Shoot more.
Shoot more.
Shoot more. You have 3 goals on 13 shots. Whitney Tuttle's tied. She also has a .23. She has 7 goals on 30 shots. It's working for her. Sadie Lindsay, keep it up.
I would also probably buy a building from your dad. Shameless plug.
Okay, so that is my D1 recap and shout out season.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Got a lot of names in there,
I've
dog.
been trying to do that. I noticed Tony does that on some of his pods, and I wanted to be a lot like Tony.
Bad thing to strive for.
I was just gonna leave it silent for a little while, but
we did not shout out season some people, so keep scoring goals. So we'll shout out you next week, and we're gonna have a good interview for you guys next week because we aren't gonna have any results to talk about.
so we're gonna need a dynamite interview next week.
I'm going to spend all week trying to get an interview. All right. Well, that wraps up our 8th week of women's hockey here at YHH. Thanks again for tuning in. Follow us on all our socials.
We love you.
Hey, there's no way around. On top of the mountain, I'm queen of the mountain. My cup running over.